You know what a really bad movie idea would be? The sequel to Napoleon Dynamite. And frankly, it looks like they're actually going to try and make it. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the original Napoleon Dynamite, why it was amazing, and why it needs to be left alone. But first, please like, subscribe, and share. Anything you can do will help my channel grow. And if you like this video, make sure to hit that bell icon so you can get my videos as soon as they drop. In 2004, Napoleon Dynamite came out. I remember it because it was 2 weeks after I graduated high school. That's right, I'm like a million years old. But nonetheless, Napoleon Dynamite hit the theaters and everyone ran out to go and see it. Not exactly. Frankly, Napoleon Dynamite didn't do too well in the theaters. Nobody knew exactly what it was. It kind of looked like that TV show Recess, but it was brought to real life. It took a while before people really appreciated the comedy that was Napoleon Dynamite. Yes, a movie about a bunch of weirdos that finally grew together and didn't really accomplish anything, to be honest. It was just him rising up and realizing that, well, not much, other than finally helping Pedro to become president. Yes, Napoleon Dynamite was mostly just a collection of scenes that were all really funny, and they came out at a time when life was pretty fun, so just a bunch of scenes that were really funny were really all that we needed for a movie to be great. The movie was filmed for less than $1 million, and it made like $80 million in the theaters. But that's the thing, there were really no benchmarks that Napoleon Dynamite had to hit because nobody really knew what it was. Just a collection of scenes, but collectively, it was a fantastic movie. And then things went quiet for a while. Jon Heder became famous, think Blades of Glory, for example. But his career kind of fizzled out a while after that as well. And Ephraim Ramirez, well, you can probably count on about two hands the amount of movies that Ephraim finally did that actually went to theaters after that. John Grease was minorly famous before the movie, and John Grease was minorly famous after the movie. Of course, he's done The White Lotus recently, but that was like 20 years in between. A few years after Napoleon Dynamite, they were clamoring for a sequel, but they really didn't have a plot, and they really just didn't want to force it. So about 15 years after Napoleon Dynamite, they ended up having that cartoon on Fox, which must have had 8 episodes at most. And it just seemed forced. It was kind of extra wacky and just playing off of the same jokes that were in the movie. Like there was an entire episode devoted to Rex Kwon Do, and you found out that maybe just the 5 minutes that were Rex Kwon Do in the movie were enough. But they decided to make an entire 30-minute episode, and it just didn't hit. And that's why there were only those 8 episodes in the original cartoon. I know, because I sat through and watched them all. But now they're talking about making a sequel. They talked about making a sequel again last year when we hit the 20-year anniversary. So now you can see what it's like for those actors when they're 40 years old, because that's really going to be a great movie. To see how Napoleon is doing as an absolute weirdo of a 40-year-old. Same thing with all of his friends and his uncle. It's just really not going to hit. Look, I love the original Napoleon Dynamite. I saw it in the theaters. I owned it on DVD. I quote it all the time. I even did one of my breakdowns of it that I'll have a link to at the end of this video. But do I think that Napoleon Dynamite needs to have a sequel? No. What is the over-under that Napoleon Dynamite 2 is even remotely as good as the original? I don't know, like 1 out of 10? Look, it just has so many weird benchmarks to have to hit. And for what reason? I mean, I guess they could probably still film it for like $10 million and people might go and see it. Think about all the sequels that we waited for so long, and then they came out and we're like, ugh, is this what it finally was? Zoolander 2, Anchorman 2, and then like the other ones like Ghostbusters. Ooh, Ghostbusters was so good after we waited all these years, except everyone hated them all. I think it's best for them to leave Napoleon Dynamite alone. I think if there was a time to make Napoleon Dynamite 2, it was 2 years after Napoleon Dynamite, showing him having to adjust to life as a real person or life in college, but nobody wants to see Napoleon at 40. The movie will be cheap to make, they'll make it, it might turn a profit, but I don't think it'll be good. Who is actually wanting to see Napoleon at 40 years old? He's just going to be an absolute weirdo. I just can't see that that movie will be funny or enjoyable. It'll just be kind of depressing. They randomly struck gold with the first movie, and the odds of them doing again are really low. But hey, Knowing me, I will definitely be there opening day.
Hey, thanks for watching my video. Make sure to click that subscribe button and check out those videos on screen now.